what? You know what? I probably should have wrote a speech by now about all the things I've been trying to do since that fateful day in 2003 when I was leaving the Army. I'm not going to get into it much in depth because I hate Meghan Markle and she steals everything. And so does countless number of people that I'm finding. So here's what I'm doing legally. I'm trying to get a motion for ex parte. Cut the dumb stuff. It's been enough window dressing on this. I'm not going to make this too long, other than the fact that I have 3 journals that I needed to manuscript, which I'm planning on manuscripting, that was stolen from me. Possibly more, but I need to check because I have many. I chronicleize my thoughts after becoming a student. And so Meghan Markle has sent, who did she send here? James Radcliffe, and you're under oath. Yes, I do have that authority. Okay, so James Radcliffe now admits that SATCOM is used, and John Johnson is one of the persons who knows how to do this, and I think he has always been like the leading person on how to use SATCOM. And what they do is they lock on 5 different things. I don't know why, that is, but James Radcliffe is saying that 5 million people know this, and I don't know if they use this as I don't know if they're paying somebody to do this or not. But when I was in the hospital, I was told that SATCOM overall has been managed by Russia, and that has not been redirected or actually picked up by the nation as a program, which I don't know. So John told me that in 1990. But the issue with James Radcliffe recently, I had 3 journals stolen, and that movie Gucci, for whatever reason, is telling Meghan Markle now to act like a fucking rash, to use my stuff to become the house of Gabbana or the house of Visconti, which both of them, Gabbana is the name, but Visconti is also one part of Milan that I needed to research. So instead of her stopping there after I tweeted Italy, she, for whatever reason, still wants to go out and on a limb and stretch this shit out and steal my memoirs. And so that's a crime, and I reported that to Clifton Heights, which I'm getting ready to report again. But the situation here is that overall, with James Radcliffe and the use of LSAT, that is, act of treason because of who they're attacking and who they continue to attack in this country. And as a candidate of the FEC, and working on other issues to get to that point where I'm, working on my nomination, it's still a Hatch Act violation to the highest degree. And I keep talking to Harry Windsor and nothing gets through, but he also told the president about 3 weeks ago, which is all this is hard to capture by myself. But he told the president 3 weeks ago about 4 a.m. that he intends on completing what he's doing. He intends on finishing what he started, but then in another breath he says that he's wrong and that when they talk to him, so he knows he's wrong, but he'll get a tongue lashing and even sodomy to correct his attitude, but he doesn't stop. So this is something that he is doing continuously, and he's doing it as patterns of treason or transnational crime with the woman who now wants to become Donatelli. And the first Donatella, and the last name is the real last name is, I called it, Donatella Bertinelli, or Donatella Bertinelli, or Donatella I don't think there was another name I called. I had to double check. But it's something that was, it's actually being retold now as the House of Gucci. And so that's, whatever that story is about Donatella is the real story about her. However, Meghan Markle is trying to do this to take my stuff. And so if anybody's got if I can't, I'm trying to get it back by court order because I have subpoenas in for her and Richard Ellis now. But I need someone to get it. Maybe don't erase what's there because there's certain details about court information that is more important than the story that I couldn't tell about my family because the way things happen for me is slightly different. And she's trying to steal everything. So let me just go on the record. I've talked about the coronation. Well, I call it a coronation. Into, we'll say Adam Budapest or Budapest. I think this is a Budapest from Austria. His sect of the Illuminati, which actually had something to do with Italy. Now, the way it kind of confuses itself is the fact that for some degree, Italians get involved and complicated. And so when the American economic system got involved with that, and they all went through these situations, like one part of it was probably sinister, and then for me, it's going to take a lot. But for me, there's a correction. Or for my family, there's a correction because the way Pope John Paul II intended this was this to stop all the angst that has been going on with Richard Ellis against my grandmother, who was born in 1939. Ellis was born, I'm thinking Ellis was born in 39 too, or 38, because he lies about when he was really born. At one point he says that he's only 85, which would put him right around 1938, 39. But he has known my grandmother and the aggressions against her as being a member of Anthony Thomas Shipman's family. So all this to Meghan Markle is something that she wants to resell in Hollywood. And I'm asking you to not do it because I'm tired of you doing it. And this is historically an American story that needs to be told the right way. And so when I talked to William McSwain, I found out that William McSwain is a side hustle for the porn industry where he makes porn, where I think he contacted Joey Heyer and they first started that crap in February 2016, Black Lives Matter. And when that came out, I was like, oh, here they go with some bull crap to hide what's going on, Black Lives Matter. But then you got some child or some young adult who was just recently raped by someone who knows Pamela Tull as public racial intimidations or public agency intimidations against me as a former agent or a civil service agent or, employee. And then she did this in 2016. The guy was persecuted. That could have stopped there. But these people are idiotic to the point that I can't quite get it. I don't quite get it. And so Harry Windsor says that he uses mind control on everyone else for them to not understand or get it. So when I set back all that energy or that back to its original source, everybody kind of froze. And I really do think it kind of happened several times, once in 2018 and then again in March in 2019 when things were kind of dissipating and people were kind of pulling back or retreating. And so with that being said, after he left in February, I do believe, let me think. I think he left for 7 months and came back in July. So I may be close 6 months in July. So July 2019, and he sent a person or an entity to me, which I could touch or feel. And this person talked to me. He was crying and he was talking about all these things in his life. But it wasn't with regards to forms of terror. So now after 2000, so I think this started kicking up a notch in the summer of 2019 when his person named Sir Knight and James I had to get the name Hemsworth Hemsworth is no, sorry, Helmsworth or something close to that sentiment. I saw him walking on my block. So if there's a camera out on that block, I want you to pull him up. He is 6'3". He weighs about 190 pounds. He has dark frame glasses with like tortoiseshell glasses. They're dark. He has dark hair. His face is angular, and he was on the block of Washington and Oak on the left side, walking northbound. I was heading southbound, and I did not want to give him eye contact because they put things in people's eyes to spy on one another, and this ability is some form of artificial intelligence, like that RV or the VR virtual thing that they use. So they're using something outside of a shell to allow people to see bank accounts, which was demonstrated in April 2018 when I opened my my fifth TD bank account, which they said they're using and funneling money through, all 5 of them, which actually has been attacked since I was at Royersford by Harry Windsor in the period of 2005 between that 2007, during the time he was hacking me for my education. And so basically this person, James, I need to get the real name, but I'm really close. It starts with an H. He's that tall. He said, quote unquote, he's Jesus. And then when I was in the hospital, he tried to electrocute me to death with some form of digitization that has a heat signature, but I think it has heat and phosphorus and uranium. And so they tried to kill me in the summer of 2018 in a holding cell in the basement, which is they call it observation, but there's no observation to be held in a basement of a Catholic hospital to sit there for 6 hours before you're admitted. There was no observation. There was nothing to be said. They do have observation rooms, but it never happened to me before. And so after that never happened again. So that's not the issue. And they said that the 6 people that they sent to that basement, they sent to die. So that happened in 2000. That was like between August 2018 and August 2000, September and August 2018. But I sat in that basement for 6 hours. And so anyway, so going back to what I'm saying is that this is too much. I'm doing a lot. And I thank those people who helped me. And you have to understand, this is Michael Zabel. This is not personal, but you make it personal. And the way they're using you, I don't quite get it. And you don't come out against them publicly as a form of treason to save your behind. And you think that calling Vladimir Putin or defecting to Russia is going to save you. And I keep telling you they're not. Now, also, you actually admitted yesterday that you know I was right when I told you that Harry was trying to kill you or set you up and take everything that you took from me. He's going to try to come after you. He's doing the same thing to me. Why don't you think he's doing the same thing to you? If they contacted you first and I called you 4 years ago now and you know what's going on and you still go along with this, you're like the stupidest man in the world. And every Democrat in this doggone freaking district in these wards here, 5 through 9 or 11, all think that Michael Zabel is telling the truth, or they fail to tell the truth, or they get involved in this public corruption. And they've done this for over 30 years in this county. Let me try again. When I was 15, I wanted to move to the west counties, or the western counties from where I lived. And I always heard about Yeadon. So I probably should have moved to Yeadon, but it probably would have made no difference. But I also wanted to be in a school district where the kids would have a good public education, free of danger. They probably should have gone to North Philly where they would have fought. Maybe that would have been better. But the point of the matter is, I'm out here in these sticks, And Michael Zabel transferred from Montgomery County purposely to follow me here. And Richard Ellis said he bought his seat to take over Delaware County. So, and I heard when he was running for re-election that I should have ran for an emergency seat. At the time, I didn't have enough information about what was going on, and I wanted to do it in such a way where it would be factual, that I would not just be taking a seat just to have a seat. But my eyes was not on state rep or being a state rep, because I know the ins and outs of what I've heard about what Jody Zuko has been doing, what Margot Davison, even Mary Gay Scanlon and her assistant, who electrocuted me in April when I asked for them to help me get representation by the Department of Justice against a case that's sitting in the Court of Common Pleas right now. Fraudulently, now I need a habeas corpus to bring it back under federal jurisdiction in Philadelphia, where all this stuff started when I worked as an acquisition specialist. When they knocked me out, they actually did knock me out. They said that they changed how I was configured then. So they hit me with something like, it would have to have been uranium at that time, which I think I had been exposed to before. So, because Army, uranium is different, and we can't taste it. I guess, hold on. Maybe you can taste it or something like that, or something comes in your mouth. They put, when they put phosphate on you or some type of gas on you, you can taste it. And this one, I have to go back and think about it. But I've been hit by depleted uranium several times. And so I do believe that's the one that, quote unquote, emaciates your body and your brain. And then I started getting a glow, which took the glow in my frontal lobe started. And I saw the glow in the frontal lobe in June 2011 before I went to Sting and Sting's concert at Borgata, and those photos were stolen. But I also hear, I think his name is Chris or something, or David. David says that he needed to talk to me that night. And so we went to the room and we didn't talk to anybody that night. But had he sent a note or wanted to sit down and talk, see, there's too many people who've known about this. And when he talks to me, he tells me that I used to be Marie Antoinette and he's King Louis. And so he feels that his interjecting wasn't necessary because they all had a scheme out because I was supposed to be, in their mind, someone else, which I don't quite understand. Anthony Hopkins, to include Pamela Tull, are the originators, along with Richard Ellis and Benjamin Netanyahu, of this whole scheme that came about in 1955 that started, cooking with grease a little bit, so to speak. Which they also put propane on me and light me up. And they do that somehow, which I don't know. Maybe there's some flint or something somewhere that they put in me somehow. But I don't quite get it. So anyway, I am appealing to you. Number one, I need those documents back. Number two, there's a subpoena, and I'm going to fight like hell to get them. You know what? For whatever I'm going through, I don't know if people in my past, which Frank Papalozzi and Paul Spencer knows a lot about me. And they did things with me when I was 2 years old to tell me things about me. And we had conversations that they actually remind me about when I was 2. Now, I don't know why I'm having these memories about these people who are well connected with other people. Now, these connections, one is with I think Paul Spencer is Aztec, and I don't know how I'm doing this, but Aztec and Cherokee, and then Frank Papalozzi or Frank, the name he goes, or Leonard Papalozzi is the other name that he goes by. I do believe that Tim Brown said Leonard Papalozzi, or I asked him did he know who Leonard Papalozzi, actually, correction, I asked my father if he knew who Leonard Papalozzi is. And Spencer and Papalozzi are connected with Mund. And this man's name is Richard. And so Richard Mund is someone that is connected to me. However, all three of these men, to include myself, all four of them, they know things about me, and they told me as much as they possibly could about me in certain ways. And I don't think, it's to the point where I think they did it in a way they thought was safe. And so I had to double check, and there was something that he did with me that I can't remember. But either way, what Paul did with me, or in the old house, and my grandma's, when my grandfather was away. So anyway, these people were doing a lot of things when my granddaddy was away. And had he been around, I probably asked, like, where's my granddad? Because everybody's acting really stupid. So by the time I turned 3, I was like, I'm done with you. And then I kept my mouth closed for 5 years. And at 8 years old, I was for 5 years. I was like, well, maybe at 3 years old, I was a little bit too judgmental. So at 5, I was like, or 8 years old, I'm like, you know what? These people are stupid. They don't know what the hell they're doing. And they're following somebody who won't quite give them the truth. So now, 50 years, and I'm still screaming about the same thing. And I know that there has been theft, and I get that part. And like I said yesterday, the most important thing, Harry, you can't co-sign on this. And I don't think you don't think that somebody's going to let you get away with this. Nobody's going to let you get away with anything. So you need to stop right now. I will be calling the governor in a few minutes. I've also called Governor DePlantis, and I did call Governor Newsom last week. We need to sit down and talk about this, and I've already told you that. So don't, first of all, get the nuclear out of my eye now. All of it. And a portion of his craziness comes by the Navy's part of this to cover it up. And so they're not quite understanding. And then there is an Aryan part of that. And many of the Navy men are Scandinavian. So I need you guys to get a freaking clue or buy a vowel and know that you're being controlled because of your eagerness to believe that you are part of some royal cult. You guys didn't listen. The shining star on the hill has always been America. I told you to stop, Harry. And so with all that knowledge that has transferred here and all that we've been able to do, we still have something to do. And concession is not it. So you guys need to get your head out of your fourth point of contact and stand up and be accountable for what it is we need to protect. Because see, here's the other thing I'm going to go. I knew somebody was following me. I needed to go to every place I thought that there was outside objectives to find out what the root cause was. Because there were so many no's, and I need to find out where. And somehow, luckily, I thought Australia. It was even before I thought about, and it was only because of a former defector, another defector who lives there quietly, who actually does not have a problem with this, but there had to be a reason why this person had to leave. So I need to find out why, and I wanted to talk to her. Why did you leave after, I think it was 97, and never come back? And then I wanted to go there, possibly India, and get somewhere, and maybe, go to Korea again. Either Egypt or England, I'm not really sure which one. So had I gone those couple places, I probably would have found out certain things. But I would have to have the authority of either a consulate or a foreign ambassador to get or find out what I needed to find out. So this is something that is really difficult to do because no one's really told or taught how to do it. And I'm fighting many things and too many things on my shoulders. And really what prompted me to make this video is because Gail Olson of the court is, quote unquote, an operations manager And I think this lady by I think Martha Green or somewhere, this person's name, which I'm trying to find my clearance document, which never exists before, from the DLA, who worked in the corporate building in the basement. And she said to me, you may be called back as an operation manager when you come back. But there was no way I would be an operation manager because that's an internal duty, and there's no way to get it unless there's strategic management, which actually they started to teach strategic management. I want to say it was brewing, but it never came to fruition. So that was something that I wanted to work with the corporate team when I was there, but I left due to nepotism, which I couldn't prove. And so lastly, I want to say that based on all those things, I needed to learn, no, I wanted to put Gail Olson with the operation manager thing is because Norman Randall said, quote, we have been trying to deal with this for such a long time, and we have not known how to do this, or we have not known how to catch her. And I started thinking about who this her or who this woman was. And then I do believe that followed Richard Ellis's speech when he said he would be working closely on something with Pamela Tull. But also this follows Randall Balcom's speech about the Navy command at DLA, which I don't know, probably looks like more brainwash. He brought up Elliot Branch himself and a few people from Washington, I think from Annapolis, to talk about the Navy, which it also seemed like a recruiting. So for that to happen at a federal agency, that would seem to be some form of military brainwash. But see, most of these, like I said, are Scandinavians who have issues with these patterns of male dominance. And so maybe, if the military can't see how to fix this, because there's another person that was caught who is now Harry's friend, and they bought these mirror laptops or mirror monitors that are not protected, and this information takes your brain waves, just clean takes it. They're not even putting in, if they're putting in the or the adware, they're putting in the adware in the computer, and you're not seeing it because it's in a server now. So these servers are connected to these mirror monitors, and those servers are connected to the cloud. And we're having so many problems with infrastructure with the cloud. We don't know who's pulling that information out of it because there's no .USA or .FR for France or .CA for Canada or CCA for China. So there's no designation to stop this stuff, and there never has been. And that also has been talked about as the fact that there's no external directory to keep people out of the American directory, and Google seems to be confusing everyone. So, I mean, there's just a couple things that needs to happen. But if the military can't fix this, then we need to probably shut everything down, shut down the net, shut down the internet. Just shut it down and figure out what to do and how to fix it. Because if, first of all, if the information can't be maintained internally and protected, then why go public with the same information on the internet? In which I kind of heard that there was nothing called an intranet or internet until I thought about what I would want to see. And all this stuff kind of comes from just me thinking about what's available at the time and how to make things efficient. So this is the same thing I'm going for with my petition for ex parte, which, in one way or the other, without the other party, I'm the party that needs to be represented. So, I just got to bear faith and witness of the same, that the oath of office that I would have taken had I actually became an officer. Actually, I do take the same oath, or have taken the same oath, and I still remember the oath because I've not been able to do anything else. When you steal from someone in such a grand way, or this is even more than grand theft. This is like theft worldwide, that everybody that who has touched or had something to do with whatever the products have been sold that have been stolen from me, or the ideas of those products that have been stolen from me, it's almost as if I am responsible to a certain degree for how this world is maintained. I mean, I really do feel that. In a lot of ways, if there was something I could have done to stop them from stealing, I don't know, maybe running out of the classroom and saying fire, which I probably thought something. I know I thought something stupid. I thought I was being emotional. But if I could turn back, I mean, there would be no way, and I thought about it too, actually. It was probably like 77 or 78. But like the fire department was maybe like 3 miles away, and, somebody probably would pick me up or hurt me. So, I didn't walk. But what would the fire department do? Like what would the fire marshal would look at me probably like I'm crazy. This was hard to get through. But I've been stolen, and see, I say it's not Mox Nicks, but they make it Mox Nicks because they stole from a black person. It's like the biggest snicker in the world. It really isn't, because black people have been stolen from since forever, and even before bondage. Even bondage is a problem. After being kicked out of Africa to the point where I want to make the point that my loyalty is here. And I know it looks complicated. I really, really do. And I know people who have been, for whatever reason, I am an American and I vow to be that way all my life. I am not African, even though I'm an African of African descent. I live here. I am an African who lives in America, who people still call black. Maybe that is you know what, still use the word black still, because it works. Use the word black. Stay strong.